What's good, y'all? And welcome to my review of this week's episode of The Reflection. And oh my god, The Reflection is so good right now. I'm loving The Reflection. And as you guys know, I was a little concerned at the start of this series. I was like, the first episode, it was very disappointing. I expected, the show to be like, right at the level of My Hero Academia. But it was still a good episode, still decent start, but not as good as expected. The second episode was a little bit better, but the third episode was like, yes, this is why I love Marvel. This is why I've been so looking forward to the show, because it's created by Stan Lee, the guy that pretty much made your childhood. If you are growing up as a Marvel fan, you guys know I love Spider-Man shit, but yeah, I was so hot, and then the third episode was so good, I was loving it. I was like, yes, there we go, The Reflection is finally starting to get good, and this episode continues that trend, and I'm loving it. I love the show. Oh god, this show is so good. I'm loving the show, guys. This episode killed it. Let's talk about it. Alright, so we start this episode off with I guess Eleanor, Exxon, and Lisa, and they're all chilling in, her truck. And and then she shows how, because Lisa's now joining the crew on this, and we see this. We get a quick flashback, and Allison's like, "How did we get to this situation?" Because Lisa's sleeping on his lap, and Eleanor's looking on researching on the laptop. We get a quick flashback to around the end of last episode. When Lisa, went out to transform back into a robot, and went off, save people and shit. Where she was actually carrying Exxon and Lisa. But Eleanor said, and she was carrying them. Then I'm guessing she ran out of batteries, or her stamina was really low, so the power went off. They crash land into the forest. Exxon saved Eleanor's fall. Then they found Lisa. She's completely fine. And then we get to there, and then she's pretty much, and then she's like, my battery's low, and she managed to finish up reach before her battery dies on her laptop. And she pretty much said, okay, I cross-referenced about the Allens, and I found this is how they relate to Raid, and here's some ones I found that were missing. She said there was one missing in St. Louis, one that was missing in Kansas, and one in New Orleans. When she said New Orleans, Lisa wakes up, she's like, New Orleans! Jazz! She wakes up and she's like, jazz, and then, Exxon's like, no, we can cross out Kansas, races all around the move, so they end up going to New Orleans. And after this, we actually go back to guys, who's patrolling LA, and he's pretty much just complaining about, man, there's no crime out here, I can't show off my suit, I'm getting used to it, but I can't show it off. He's complaining about stuff, but a lot of that is the kind of stuff that Stain, if Stain was in this universe of The Reflection, and she heard that stuff from Exxon, he probably would be on the top of his hit list. Honestly. But he puts with him, they tell them the guy that he's talking to, I'm guessing he's like, I don't know, producer, friend, or a boss, whatever. He brings like, hey, there's a gang meet up in an abandoned factory, which ends up being an arms deal. He goes in there, breaks it up. Then the dealer over there actually has is a member of The Reflection, or at least it looks like, because he's when he punches him, smoke is coming out, colored smoke comes out, but the dude tells him, grab him, and play Sky Show. I believe that's the song. The song is always playing in, when he's flying around, Sky, blah 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 blah, that's all. So he calls it up. So he grabs him tight, goes up in the air, and just flying around with the smoke coming out, goes into the water. He gets up, doing God knows what to him. Gets up, the dude's unconscious, it looks like, and then he just lands on the floor. And then, then we get back to, then he gets back to his house, he's pretty much in the newspaper reading them, and everyone's talking about I guy, instead of his, instead of himself, Ian, whatever the dude's last name is. And pretty much showing, and he's pretty much telling him about, and he's pretty sure that the arrests he's been doing haven't really been working, because they always end up escaping about 4 hours. The guy that just arrested, he escaped 4 hours after being captured. And he's also, in the last time of the newspaper, he's showing up these 4 girls that look like magical girls have appeared in Japan. I'm guessing those are the 4 girls that we saw, and I believe in the last episode, who were talking about what should we name our group. So and then after that, he's I'm tired now, I'm gonna make the world, remember Ian, and he's remember, so he goes to this bar, or I should say, it was more like a club. He goes to this club, and he goes there, and there's actually, when he's about to walk in, there's just a black dude, who I'm guessing is a bouncer, and he's oh, you're Ian, whatever, I'm a big fan of your stuff for years, hopefully you sing a song, brother, I love you. And he gets on stage and tells him to play Sky, song, but he doesn't end up playing the song. And the reason that we actually find out what his powers of when the reflection incident happened is it looks like he can't sing without it's like because he tries to sing a little bit and these sound waves, these like visible sound waves show up and it breaks the glass. So it looks like the dude can't sing without I guess destroying your eardrums or something. I'm not really that. Sorry, I guess he just sings in high frequency. So he gets out. His friend tells him like he drank too much. He takes him out. Then we get to we go back to Eleanor and crew. They're pretty much on their way to New Orleans, and Lisa is just like a little kid in this whole car ride there. She's always like, "Oh, look at that! The ocean looks so nice." When it's like it's a lake. It's just kind of remind me a lot of Futaba from Persona 5. By the way, Futaba's best girl. She kind of reminded me a lot of Futaba from Persona 5. And yeah, so she's like, gushing over that stuff, and she's like really hoping to go to New Orleans. And then they, park around this bar. Eleanor tells Exxon, I'm good for now. And then he goes to this bar to ask him a few questions about this Alan that went missing in New Orleans. I believe her name was Ellen, I believe it was, or something along those lines. Anyway, he goes there, so she goes there, asks some questions. She asks like, that she was indeed captured by Merchant and Trader, who are these guys that are actually like kidnapping reflected people who are of the reflection, who are reflecting guys that people have quirks and takes them away. So yeah, she gets them, and then I think she said like they happened like a couple years ago or something. I forget exactly the dates. And yeah, so she leaves the bar, and then overall she's like, talk about like, okay, merchant trader. Then we see this one scene of this kid getting bullied because I believe he was friends with a member of the Reflected. He's a friend of a Reflected, and this kid is bullying him like, no, you were friends with a Reflected, so you get the same thing. And that brother's just beating him up, and then Eleanor sees it, gets involved, uses her powers, takes care of him. And then this cop shows up, this big fat cop who looks like the most cliche, evil coyote. I mean, he wears a cowboy hat, he has like a mustache, it's like the mustache that's kind of like halfway and it goes down like around your mouth a bit, and then he wears a cowboy hat. He like puts his hands on his bed, walks, like, and his name is Dallas too. I'm so like really gotta look at the cliche. So he gets to it. He's like, oh, I should arrest you for whatever the charge was. But actually, these two guys show up, which are actually revealed to be Merchant and Trader. They capture her, and yeah, they capture her. And they leave, and he's like, oh, yeah, you guys can take care of it, but it would be nice if you let the cops take care of some of these Reflected. And he's like, oh, but then you captured not, so you have the Reflected. The Reflected should be taking care of the Reflected. And it's like, we imagine a world without Reef, which is, like, an abbreviation for Reflected. So then Exxon goes looking for it, then we end up, then we go to this bar, which I'm guessing is the same bar we were just at when Eleanor was asking the bartender about, Michelle, Allen, the girl they were looking for, get more information for, Wraith. We go to that bar, and these two guys are talking. Next day on the TV, we see those four girls that look like magical girls. We saw the four Japanese girls that I'm guessing we saw in the beginning, last week's episode and the first episode. We saw a little bit more of them in their suits on the TV. Nice little reference and some stuff. I'm curious if we're actually going to see some more of them. Maybe in next week's episode, or maybe not. Who knows? But yeah. So she goes looking for him. Then we go to this bar, and the dudes are like, "Man, like, yeah, you guys see that? Didn't you see that giant monster? Like, it's like, oh." And one thing I actually read about Merchant and Trader is that the bartender also said that they grab a Reflect and sell them off for scraps. Whether they're gonna scraps, I guess we'll find out next week. But yeah. They're talking about like, man, I heard that the monster eats them, and he's like, man, that's scary, dude. I'm glad that they took care of that Reflected so we can drink in peace, bro. Like, yeah, and then, I'm guessing he tells Lisa the story of what he heard at the bar, and she's like, oh, that can't be, I'm sure Eleanor's fine, and, the excellence, chilling in the seat, has his hand on his face, and he's like, Michelle, Ellen, blah, 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 and Lisa's like, yeah, you might even worried about Eleanor, and he like punches him. Barely puts it. Now she's putting a force behind that punch. But yeah, she's like, forget it. She grabs her wheelchair, goes out, and says, "I'm going to look for Eleanor. Shut the door for me." I love what point she's like, shut the door for me while she's like, rolling off. And yeah, then we go to to wherever this, and then we go back to Eleanor, who just woke up on a couch, goes to the store, there's a bunch of people on there, I'm guessing Reflected, and I believe one of the guys, she looks at this dude in sunglasses, she looks at her, he looks at him back, and then the episode ends. So yeah, Really looking forward to seeing some more about Merchant Taylor, seeing what they're up to. And yeah, guys, I'm very much looking forward to seeing next week's episode. I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10, and which means for the first time ever, for the Saturday Morning Wars, this week's episode winner goes to the Reflection. Yes, the Reflection finally won. It beat Hero Octa for a week. Yeah, let's see if the Reflection keep this up, or maybe probably next week Reflect might be gonna kick its ass again, be like, please Reflect, you got Stan Lee, but we got quality. I mean, I love both shows, but Hero Waka is Hero Waka. But yeah, guys, 9.5 out of 10 is my final favorite. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like, links in the description, and as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.